Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show where, after the collision, we sift through
The Wreckage.
the wreckage. I am your host, Jimmy T. That is my co-host, Jamie the Vet Williams, and we are live on Hamin Media Group via channelattitude.com after the fact. Vet, what is going on, my friend? And what's the haps, man? It is kind of like just a wreckage type of show.
Is it a wreckage?
It's just a wreck, you know what I mean? Pretty much. I mean, what else can we say about that? But before we do sift through the wreckage, I just want to say from everybody here at HMG and channelattitude.com and from all of us, I just want to say RIP to Alpha, who just passed away sadly, and you know, just right after his brother Sika passed away a couple of weeks back. And yeah, man, I mean, what can we say about the Wild Samoans? I mean, they were badasses, both of them. It's a shame, but at the same time, it's kind of fitting that both of them went, you know, roughly around the same time, man.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, I mean, like you said, what can you say? I don't know. I really don't know what else you could say, because a lot of the things when Sika passed away that we were talking about, you know, they kind of just apply to Afa as well.
Right.
Those guys were kind of tied together, especially in terms of like the fans' memories. They think of the Wild Samoans. They think of both of them. They don't really, I never really separated them in my mind. I don't know about you, but
No,
like
never.
for me, it was like Afa and Sika. That's just how it was. Cause I didn't, you know, they were like their heyday was right before me. So I didn't really grow up watching them, and they would just make appearances, and usually they were together. Every time I heard them reference or heard stories, it was like about them together. So,
Absolutely.
you know, as such, I unfortunately don't really have any like special words to share about, you know, Afa individually. But
No, well, that's understandable, dude. I mean, that was before my time too, to be fair. So, I mean, you know, I wasn't interested when they were tag team champions. Put it that way. I don't think we were even born yet, Vet, when they first won the World Tag Team Championships. But
no, I would go back and see, like, when I had the 24/7 network, I would watch anything they'd put on it. So I saw a lot of old, like, Madison Square Garden shows, Boston Garden shows, Philadelphia Spectrum shows from the 70s and 80s and stuff like that, you know, featured some of those tag teams like the Wild Samoans. And so I saw them a fair bit, like, have matches and everything. And it was, you know, it's just kind of, it's very similar to how you would see, like, when like on SmackDown, when they do like a video tribute package or something like that. It's very much how I remember, like, you see them, they're like a sight to behold. No one really looks like them, you know.
no one.
No,
That's an understatement.
they go in there,
dude.
they get the gimmick over, you know, just it's pretty. Now, didn't somebody have, like, I don't remember which, I'm sorry, again, I don't mean to be insensitive, but I could have sworn that I've heard over the years, like, it multiple times, and I never really went, but like, didn't one of them have like a run with Hogan? Or did he just take turns fighting both of them, or like something like that, right? I thought.
I'm pretty sure one of them did get a run with Hogan, if memory serves me correct. I could be wrong, but it does sound familiar. But I think this was during the house show runs, like a MSG at the Spectrum, at the Philadelphia Spectrum, for example, Boston Garden. It could have been one of those, but it does sound familiar, and it makes me want to look it up. I mean, look,
maybe like a Saturday Night's Main Event, perhaps could have been. Oof. Like,
let's see,
one of those.
Look it up, because now I'm curious. Versus, I'll just type the Wild Samoans just to see what comes up, and it does sound familiar though, like it really does. Well, let's see. Yeah, it was Alpha, as a matter of fact, in 1984.
Hmm.
Yeah, so there you go. It was only Alpha, as far as I know, no Sika.
Was that, and what does it say there? Like, as far as, does it say like a specific event, or?
It was at a house show. I'll tell you now. Give me a moment. It was at. Yeah, it was definitely a house show, dude. And doesn't tell me where it was at, but it looks like it could be the Spectrum. It could be it's at one of those joints, man. It could be MSG. It doesn't look like MSG though. It looks kind of more run down than even that. So
Cow Palace.
Well, you know what? Cow Palace got a lot of history for pro wrestling too, but with WWE
with
really,
the Samoans especially.
Well, yeah, especially they're all from San Francisco, most of them. So yeah, no, I don't know. It looks run down. I'll just see a YouTube video. I have to like look at the Wikipedia, and the thing is, by the time I find it, it should come up. Let's see. I just want to know the area too, man. And let me see. Doesn't really
totally
say,
professional
man.
show we have. We sign up right now, hit the subscribe button, make sure to share, share with all your friends, let them know we run a professional outfit here. We definitely don't do our research on the fly.
Well, it's a thing that I haven't thought about for a long time, but as soon as you said it, it did ring a bell right away. So yeah. Oh, here we go. 84. Let's see. There's a whole thing about it here. I'm just waiting for it. Here we go. Let's see. So there's Afa. You know what? It says here that it was Allentown, Pennsylvania, possibly, dude.
Yeah, I think that's where they ended up opening up their school, isn't it? Where guys like Batista
Wasn't it in San Francisco? Yeah, they did. Yeah, there was the.
No, they lived there, but then they opened up the school over on the East Coast. But
yeah, I thought they had on the West Coast still as well, dude. But anyway, yeah, it was 1984. It was Hogan versus Alpha, and yeah, like surprisingly, look, he didn't win, but Hogan won by disqualification. So because Captain Urbano got interfered also, and also
probably
Sika
threw a half-eaten chicken carcass into the ring and got disqualified.
See, that's what I think when I think of them. Right, I think more of the head shrinkers, for example. I'm pretty sure it was Alpha that used to chew on the chicken, wasn't it? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
pretty sure it was. Yeah, I'm pretty certain that it really was, but that was kind of weird. But the other days, look, either way, RIP to Alpha. He joins his brother Sika, up in the heavens, and they will be missed. And they did. I mean, they chained Batista. They've chained numerous wrestlers, dude. I mean, I'm pretty sure even Cena done a bit of. I know he was in what was it, UWF or something like that in California, or something like that.
UPW.
Oh, UPW, that's the one.
The Bassman.
UWF's the old school one. Well, they started quite a few wrestlers over there, but even Cena like went through here and there to the school. There was a few, dude. There was quite a few that went through it, but Batista is the main one. And yeah, like I said, RIP, man. And like I said, if we were around from those days, and like you said, you were watching stuff on WWE 24/7. I mean, I've seen some stuff, but generally before my time, it's kind of hard to watch. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to pretend I watched every Bruno match, for example, and stuff like that. That was just too old school for me. But I mean, shit, they're legends, no doubt, and they will be missed. But in other news, Zack Sabre Jr. wins the G1. I'm actually happy about that.
Really? I didn't even know that.
Oh, you didn't? Well, sorry if I spoilt it, but I had to say it.
Who cares?
Yeah, he wins the G1, and I'm kind of happy for him, dude. Yeah, I think he's the first Brit to ever win it, and the second Gaijin. behind Kenny Omega to actually win the tournament. So does this mean he's going to win the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship? I'm assuming he will, and he's earned it.
I guess he's got to. Like I said before, Naito can't go anymore. He's basically washed at this point, which is, I mean, I don't mean any disrespect by saying that. I'm just stating it. It's, you know, they've kind of like, I feel like they've sort of dangled that carrot in front of Zach for a while, and he's been loyal to the company the whole time. So,
absolutely.
Of all the white dudes they brought over to be in this company now that's just overrun with white dudes, you know, he's got the tenure there. I'm glad it's, you know, not say Finley or David Finley or something.
Hell no. Well,
welcome the professor to the chat.
Yeah, and Revamped is also in the chat. But he says Zach is boring. Wrong choice. You're so wrong, Prof. I'm telling you now, man. I used to think the same thing about ZSJ. Believe me when I tell you, I used to think the same thing. And then I watched more of his stuff. And then I realized and grown to appreciate how good he actually is. Believe me, once you understand what type of wrestler he is, you'll be into him, man. You just got to watch him more.
Hey, Jimmy, don't fan-splain Zack Sabre to the professor, okay? Right. I'm sure he's come by his opinion, you know, through much studying and tape review and everything. I'm sure he's not going to be convinced that Zack Sabre's not boring. I think he knows what Zack Sabre brings to the table.
For the record, it's not our professor, it's another professor, just so you know. There's two professors, Vet.
What?
Yeah, it's not Chabello. It's the professor, D.A. Professor.
That's not him?
That's not him. Otherwise, why would I say that? You know
That's the only professor I know. Where's the other?
Yeah, well, there's another one.
What
is
his username? What is Chabello Veracruz's username then?
The professor. Chabella Veracruz. That's how he comes down in, but that's not the same one.
Effervescent one. Is that you? Come on. This has been you the whole time with that picture of friggin', is that Baron Corbin or whatever? That's him.
Is it? Are you sure it is?
Oh my God. Why do I have to go through
this?
He
had a different...
Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. I never know what I'm talking about. But anyway.
I'm telling you. Oh, it is Chabello. Oh, shit. No shit.
Oh, so you'll believe him now? Like, how do you know that the fake professor isn't just saying that it's him? How do you know that, Jimmy?
Two. I kid you not, there was, I swear to God, I've seen another one before that I thought was different. But anyway, sorry, Prof. I thought you were someone else, man. But anyway, I'm surprised that he would you find him boring, dude, for real? Well, he thinks that William Regal, Zach makes William Regal look like Kenny Omega. That's a big call.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but the thing that Zach is good at is just being an annoying dick. If you can understand what he says, because he speaks really fast, and if you can understand that, then he's a good heel. His matches are relatively exciting, especially I think for somebody that wrestles the way he does, which is unique this day and age. Most people have abandoned that sort of like grappling style, and he's sort of made it his whole thing. So it's admirable that he's able to, you know, kind of make a match exciting like that, because a lot of people that know how to do that stuff don't necessarily know how to make it exciting. But he can actually get people into it, especially in Japan where they appreciate that kind of stuff. So I think it's better for him over there. Not that he can't, you know, get over. He works. I mean, you've seen him enough. You know how he is. He'll work up to whatever type of match the other person is used to. But ultimately, yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at it in terms of like, as a tenure thing, I could understand them wanting to just, you know, give it to him finally. He won like 2 New Japan Cups and they didn't pull the trigger. You know, he's had different opportunities or whatever, and right now it's like the pickings are slim, quite frankly. So
that's an understatement, dude.
Yeah,
it's a big understatement. Lashley has pretty much been confirmed to be see you later from WWE, who's been moved to the alumni section of the WWE roster on the WWE.com page. And there's rumor now that he could be debuting at All In. And I'm praying he doesn't. But that's the rumor as we speak. Any thoughts on Lashley, Vet?
Nothing I haven't already said. I don't remember if we talked about it already. I feel like we did. Didn't we talk about it last week?
But now it's official because he just got moved to the alumni section. So
yeah, I don't have any different thoughts than I did before when he was just rumored. This changes nothing.
Yeah, well, I just hope he does not debut in WWE. In AEW, he did say on a podcast that the door is open though for a return apparently to WWE. Whatever that means, I've got a feeling something went.
Yeah, we don't want you now. We'll take you when you're older, though.
Yeah, I know it's pretty silly, but I think something went. I think with him and the Pride, whatever you wanted to call him at the time, I think there was some sort of disagreement that went on between him and Creative, and I think that's why he was let go. But that's just me speculating. I don't know anything about that, but that's just what I think. But we'll see.
I feel like WWE booking at times, well, almost any booking really, it's like a kindergarten class. It's like you sort things by color, right. Sort things by groups of color.
Yeah, I know. It is what it is. But
realistically, even if you look at that, like, so they put Lashley with the Street Profits. What do Lashley and the Street Profits even have in common? They're nothing alike. So why would that have ever worked? And it's a half-assed thing because you've taken one guy and one tag team and you've made them a trio I'm not saying that in terms of like the wrestling belt. I just mean a group of three, a triad, a trinity, whatever you want to say. You made them three guys and there's no room for three guys in WWE because three guys in WWE don't do anything. So why would they be together? It's one thing if you have MVP with Lashley as a manager that can get physical, or even the MVP role of like mentor, like, because what they did with Lashley was he tried to make the Street Profits more like high class professional athletes. Stop running around here in sweat clothes or whatever and start wearing suits and looking like you make money, right? Like that was the whole thing. Well, that's more of an MVP thing, really, isn't it? I mean, even if Bobby Lashley does feel like that, his role is as an active wrestler. He doesn't need to be mentoring a tag team. It makes no sense given everything that they had going on at the time. So I never understood that from the get-go. And now the Street Profits are just a tag team again, and Lashley's out and MVP's out. So
what a waste,
I don't know what to make of it other than disappointing, but there are a lot of people that stand around in WWE collecting a paycheck and don't really do anything. And no offense to them, but like as a company, I would look at that and I'd say, well, I sure hope a lot of these people are making way, 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 way less than Bobby Lashley and MVP. And that's why it was a good cost-cutting measure to let them move on.
Oh, no doubt. 100%. Also, not that it matters, but Beth Phoenix's contract has expired in WWE. I wonder
if that means
she's officially
out
of contract.
Legends contract? I didn't know those expired. Idea.
Yeah, no. I think, remember when she was doing the NXT commentary a while ago now?
Oh my God.
I think they signed her up for that during that time, and I guess it's run out now. So I don't know if it's a Legends contract or not, but she's free to do whatever she feels like it. Do we possibly see her now in AEW to join her husband?
To also sit around and do nothing and get paid?
Why not? I mean, that's the life, right? I'm sure she won't.
Just sign me to sit at home and raise the kids. Thanks, Tony. Thanks, guys.
Worries. It's true, man. And that's really we've got to talk about this, I guess. AEW announces All In Texas for next year, Vet.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw! Me and John were talking about on the Smack Attack yesterday, and he thinks they will probably struggle to sell out 40,000. I think Texas Rangers Stadium, ballpark, whatever you want to call it, holds. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think they can sell 40K for next year at All In?
Well, they want to try.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do. There's also very strong rumors about a stadium show possibly kicking off in my neck of the woods in Australia, which seems ambitious because I don't know if they can. Look, they might. I have no idea, but they want to do a big stadium show, whatever that is going to be. I have no idea. It seems like it's going to come out soon about it. I don't know if they're going to be successful down here. What's your gut feeling? Do you think they can sell out a stadium here, down here?
Well, you would know better than I. But from my outside perspective, what I think is AEW's got to go to markets that are underserved. And this may not be something that, some people would want to hear, but I think if there's any good Australian wrestlers, they're here in America. Sorry.
Spot on.
So if people still like wrestling, but everything down there kind of sucks, then maybe AEW can bring some stars in, like the Kyle Fletchers and, whatever to, get people excited. But also you bring in all the people they don't get.
Right.
The Will Ospreays, the Okadas, the MJFs, whoever.
MJF, whatever, right. Kenny, hopefully, if he's good enough to be, and when it happens. But no, there is a couple of, there's a few good indie wrestlers here in Australia. Look out for a tag team that should make a splash soon in the US. And they just came back from the US. They're actually best friends with Rhea Ripley and Buddy Murphy, but particularly Rhea Ripley because they're from South Australia. They're called the Parea. And if you don't know what that means, they're Greek boys, right? And the Parea means basically the group, it's like the family almost, but not the family in terms of family, but like a group basically, right? And that's what the Parea means. Right. I know, it's just a weird sort of saying to use and explaining it. These two, and I'm not saying this because they're Greek and they're Australian. Trust me when I tell you they've got potential, man. One day I'll show you something. No, I really believe it.
Albert had potential.
They're better than Albert, put it that way.
Really?
They're a great.
Or are they better than? What's it called? Those guys. Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis.
Oh, well, in terms of character, absolutely. Like, by a long shot. Even promo, way better. In terms of in-ring, Kyle Fletcher can go, dude. you know what I'm saying? Like, he can actually go.
He goes a little too much.
Probably too much. So, they're not like that. They're more traditional, dude. They're not flippy-floppy guys. They're more old-school sort of based. Except anything is, what worries me, and they've been trained by Lance Storm also, by the way. The thing is, they're very, I don't know if they will be this gimmick if they do hit the States, but think of them as two, like, your typical American Italian type of, the gold chains,
mm-hmm.
The real Guido sort of character. They play that, but Greek versions, right? Do you know what I'm saying?
Greek versions from Australia.
Australian versions from Australia, right?
Yeah, so they're Italian Greeks from Australia. Got it.
No, they're Greeks from Australia.
If you can get through the lineage, maybe they'll get over one day.
See, I don't know if that will get over in the States. That's the only thing. But we'll see what happens. But they've got a lot of potential.
See if they can come up with a singable theme song. How about that?
They come out to this remix of Lose Yourself, Eminem, but it's real techno-y.
Well,
it kind of suits
that ain't gonna work, pal. We got copyright and DMCA.
Definitely not gonna work. So look out for them. Remember the name, the Parea. I guarantee you they will make a splash in the States eventually. Slapjack was Australian, cold-blooded, yes. Unfortunately,
he's not anymore. He's American. He lives in California.
Does he? Does he live in California?
I believe
now?
so. Yes, I think I heard him say that.
Yeah, well,
We're talking about Shane Haste for anybody that's not
that's
keeping up with this. TMDK's own Shane Haste, who's I'm sure very happy that his leader Zack Sabre Jr. is the G1 winner.
His leader? I mean, shouldn't it be? I mean, it was Haste that pretty much started TMDK.
Zack Sabre is the leader.
Oh, that's funny in itself. Well, anyway, that was the news, Vet, and there's not really anything more important.
Really?
But I mean,
interesting.
What else can we?
What about that? I'm very surprised that you didn't ask about that rumored thing that Dave Meltzer was talking about how much revenue AEW is getting paid by.
Oh,
WBD.
You're talking about apparently 200 and something million a year. Is this what you're talking about? Yeah, allegedly. But it's still speculation, man. Like, is that even a thing? I was going to report on it, but at the same time, I don't want to report on something that we've been hearing now for how long? You know what I mean? That they're pretty much going to sign. They're not going to sign. To me, the longer this keeps going, the worse it is for AEW. I mean, surely they're gonna re-sign him, right? And is 200 million a lot? Do you think for AEW? I think that sounds a bit, I guess, pretty fair, right?
It depends on what the market, like what is. You're looking at like if the numbers that they're saying are accurate, that I don't know, because that's their business to figure out what they think it's worth, right?
Right.
Obviously people these days either overpay for stuff, but like no matter what, it's hard to imagine somebody getting lowballed. It just seems like it would be perceived as a lowball offer only to wrestling fans that don't know shit.
It is a low blow. I mean, it's perceived as that, as a low blow offer from everybody. But when you compare it to WWE, I mean, it's a huge difference.
But there's a huge difference in the company, right? It's not.
That's also true, right?
Right. It's like comparing what Coke gets paid to like you just invented a soda today, and expecting like you're supposed to. Hey, I've had a soda for 5 years. Why? Where's my Coke money? That's ridiculous. Obviously, you're not going to get the same, whatever. But but they were saying that like, what was the number that was quoted was like $91 million in ad revenue on TBS just for Dynamite alone. So
that's true.
I mean, it's fine if you can bring that number up. Then you could potentially be making a steal by signing them to whatever. But I think it's not so much what the thing about it signing. What to me is the news about the whole thing is that Dave's reporting it. And the reason being because what are you laughing at?
Because Dave's
clearly your mind went somewhere. So take the viewers on a ride with you.
No. I'm laughing because Melton is friggin' bullshit. Like lately he's been caught out with so much bullshit. Anyway, that's why I'm laughing. Please continue.
Right, but okay, this is about AEW business. That's so true. Everybody accuses Meltzer of being an AEW shill. Do you think he would go ahead and report something like this if he didn't know it, because he knows he'd be getting a phone call from Tony like immediately?
No, you're right. That's a good point. That's actually a good point.
So to me, of course it's a good point. I made it. So to me, it seems like that's the interesting part of it. Like if he had special information, he could have been told to withhold this. I don't know. So it's not so much what's in the numbers or the spreadsheets or all that other stuff, but just the fact that he's deciding to go ahead with this. Like I would wonder, like, so he's given the green light or he's going rogue. Which one is it?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. Look, I'm going to lean towards he's gotten the green light, but why can't Tony announce it himself?
Exactly. Well, what happens when Tony Khan makes announcements? People just say, oh my God, why don't you shut up? Can you see Vince McMahon making announcements? Like every time he does anything, people are willing to just drag his lifeless body over the hot coals and hold him accountable for breathing. So I can understand why he wouldn't want to. Or is this a tactic because maybe negotiations with Warner Brothers aren't going exactly the way he wants, and he wants to throw something out there to sort of like force their hand or something. I don't know.
How would you force their hand, say, if you're Tony Khan?
I don't have any idea. Look, do you think my brain operates like on that guy's plane of existence? I couldn't tell you how or why he thinks and does what he does.
Oh boy, that's funny.
But I could see, I don't know. If he thinks it's some sort of a strategic business maneuver that he could just pawn off and say like, hey, that's Dave Meltzer saying that. I didn't say it, you know, like basically put it out there and get people like, you know, or if he thought it sounded good to have Dave report that, like, hey guys, look, we made $91 million in ad revenue. You guys are saying we're making no money. Because let's face it, all the fans ever talk about is like the American cable ratings. They don't have any idea what the finances are, or they talk about low attendance, right? But
that's all they talk about.
Yeah,
that's all they talk about. No, you're spot on. What I find interesting though, Vet, is any other company out there, was any other network even interested in AEW? That's another thing. Because if there was, and I know Tony always sits there and says, I'm loyal to WBD and blah, blah, blah. But let's be real here. Let's call a spade a spade. We haven't heard any other network that's actually remotely interested in AEW, to be fair. And if that's the case, then you'd think that WBD can just offer whatever low ball sort of offer they feel like it, and AEW's just got to accept it. Am I wrong in saying that?
You're not wrong in saying it, but Warner Brothers might be wrong in thinking it, because because I've said this before, that I think both of these companies are sort of playing a game of chicken because they don't realize how bad they need each other. If like you saw what happened with Warner Brothers and the NBA, right? Now they're suing or some shit. Like it's just bad decisions, you know? And I could see them thinking like they don't look, nobody wants to pay any more than they absolutely have to, right? Like if you're at work and your boss has to give you a raise, they want to give you the smallest raise they possibly can. Like what's the minimum amount I can give this guy? Cold-blooded's in here sweating his ass off for me. How can I give him just the least amount of extra money just to make him stay? You know, like those are the kind of things that people, you know, that companies think about. So of course they want to give AEW a low offer, because they know that even their low offer, there could be, to your question, there could be networks that are interested that just couldn't possibly come close to the deal. Like, we would love to have AEW on, but we can't afford what you're asking. You know, you could have priced yourself out of the market because you've got Warner Brothers now and they've got money. Well, they don't, but they're paying money that perhaps they can't afford. Right. So, but it's still going to be cheaper than anything else they do. You know, if Warner Brothers dumps, you know, if Warner Brothers dumps, AEW for, you know, like a, you know, I don't know, let's a 13 episode order of the Rizzoli and Isles reboot or something, like
right.
They're going to have to pay for that. They're going to have to pay for those, you know, that whole show and everything. So, it may not be worth it to them, you know, because I don't know. I just think that I just find it quite interesting, just the fact of like everybody jumps on every little bit of news that comes out of these supposed discussions, and we never used to hear about any of this stuff. When before AEW existed did people talk about the network and the upfronts in TV and stuff like that? Nobody was talking about that shit back when TNA was making deals with Fox Sports Net and Spike TV and those things. Like nobody was talking about upfronts back then. We hear about this shit now. Like we are on like a minute level of like microscopic detail on everything that AEW goes through as a company now. And it's just, where was all this energy, 10 years ago, 15 years ago? I just didn't see it. So I just, that's the thing that I find the most entertaining about all of this whole thing is how the fans pretend they care about shit just so they can trash a company that they don't like, even though they probably don't watch it either. They just decided they don't like it because it's not WWE.
No, you're right. I want to bring up something about that, but before we do, and I was going to bring this up, but Jose Luis Rivera brought it up for us anyway. He says, you don't wear a WBD hat in the presser and believe other networks want AEW. So Tony overplayed his hand. He's got a point. I mean, he's got to stop sucking up, man. He's got to stop, because all it does is sort of make him look bad. And it also makes it look like no one else is even interested. You know what I mean? He also says, and I'm talking about Jose Luis Rivera, WBD has lost $10 billion in valuation, but has to pay out current and already signed new deals like college sports, whereas now AEW is in a weird position. What do you say to that, Vet?
Yeah, that's basically what I was, trying to say. Like, Warner Brothers is not some competent company, right? They think they're strong arming AEW, but it's AEW should call that bluff, Whatever connections that Tony Khan has to make to raise the price up, because I think ultimately they're going to want that programming.
Well, he says Meltzer was talking about TNA. They were, but not in these minute numbers, though, Jose. If you know what I mean. Not to the extent of how much money and whatnot. Like, you know what I mean? But anyway, we'll see what happens. I think you're right, though. When you said earlier about Meltzer coming out with all this shit, it's got to be true, I'm assuming. Because the one thing that he doesn't really get wrong, I guess, is AEW stuff. But Todd also, the Common King's in the house, saying, I'm tired of the tribalism, negativity, and hypocrisy.
Get off the internet, Todd. Get off.
No, unfortunately. Boo. And the sad part about that,
we're here to be hypocrites.
I came across a documentary on YouTube about this whole tribalism thing, right? And look, in my opinion, I think they could have done a better job, right? I don't think... They just think this phenomenon just started with the fans. But the truth is, it's the actual companies that have caused this. It's Tony Khan and Triple H in many ways, too, that's caused this type of tribalism.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. So? Nobody caused it. It's been there. It's been there ever since sports teams have existed. There's been...
Oh, no.
As soon as you started rooting for logos and colors, you're a tribalistic person. But we just didn't have social media to this degree.
Well, I'm not talking about sports teams. You're right. That's always been a thing. Always. But in terms of wrestling, has it really been? Because think about it. Even back in the day with WCW.
Yes, because TNA LOL was a thing. And also as WCW, people were arguing about it. I remember having specific arguments about people talking about which one was better, WWF or WCW. Always happened, but we just didn't have Twitter so that every moron could just say whatever they wanted at any time to anybody. That's the only difference.
Look, wrestling has always been a forefront with the internet when it comes to the forums and all that. So, even back in the day, I remember, being part of forums that will talk about this shit, right? But to be fair, it wasn't as I feel like it's abusive now. It's turned totally abusive. You know what I mean? Fuck AEW and fuck, WWE and if you're not into AEW, I'm gonna block you and all this just fucking petty bullshit, man. And Todd,
because helicopter parents have raised a generation of weak kids who are in their feelings all the time.
And that too. And who the fuck are
So
these?
if you don't like it, then I'm just not even going to take it. You know, that's just kind of how it is. But, or at least I would think so. But I see a lot of people that are way too old to be acting like that still act like that. So I have no excuse for them.
Yeah. No,
I think it's soft. True. I think it's soft to complain about how a certain generation is soft. Like, obviously, if you're complaining, you're soft. So that kind of doesn't hold water either. But that's what I mean. It's like people think everything's new. Nothing's new. Everything's new. Old. We just have new ways of communicating it. So, yeah, you know. I mean, even revamped wrestling right now, unless he's like being an ironic comedic genius, is just sitting here, you know, trashing AEW in the chat the whole time. So it's like,
that's true.
Yeah, sure. But that's the thing. Like, obviously in the television presentation, there's big differences. If you go to the shows, basically what it is you sit in a chair and you watch wrestling matches for 2 to 3 hours or more. It looks the same to you from that chair, but you don't have to hear like the announcers, or you don't have to like see some of those the way they present it to you and stuff like that. So your experience is the same when you go live, but like when you watch TV, it's vastly different because WWE has so much more experience of doing this. And they've even brought in a whole new team of people to do weird drone stuff and augmented reality. And it's all this other stuff that, you know, it makes AEW kind of look second rate. But if you go to the buildings, other than the number of people, your experience is basically the same. And even then, it was only recently that the WWE started filling up houses. Like,
I know, that's true.
You know, the Hamin Tarp Emporium wasn't invented just for AEW.
No, it was actually WWE where it was first invented, if anything. So
yeah.
No,
so
you're right. You're spot on.
This is like I said before. These are the main things that's in AEW's way. And the number one thing is they're just not WWE. I've said that before, and it's the same thing I said about the Coke analogy. The soda that just got invented 5 years ago is not going to make Coke money. It just isn't. It never will. No. And even Pepsi, like, which used to be the number 2, and now I hear people saying Dr. Pepper is the number 2 or whatever. Wait, it's just like,
I think Dr. Pepper is number 1 now. As a matter of fact,
get the fuck out of here. Nothing will ever be number 1. That's the thing. The number 1s are so far ahead, they'll just never be caught. And that's the way the WWE is now. That's AEW's number 1 problem, is that they're not WWE.
So you think even if AEW were to sign, just say hypothetically, The Rock, you know, like Brock Lesnar and say Cena, right? Do you think that will turn the needle, like, onto AEW's sort of side? Or you think that'll be such a strong like brand that no matter what they do at this point, they just can't really get over WWE in terms of most eyeballs?
Yeah, I don't think it would ultimately matter. If they sign those people that you said, their numbers would go up a little bit, but it's still not going to be. It's people just because there's going to be that segment of the population where they just don't know that AEW exists. That's the reason why, and that's my number 1 point. Like, when I talk to people in the real world, it's not that they say, "Oh, AEW, I don't watch that shit." They don't know it's there. They don't really watch WWE, but they certainly don't know about other companies, you know? So,
that's true.
You know, ultimately that's what we forget, because we're all on the internet. Our fingers are on the pulse of what's going on. We follow this shit way more than we're supposed to. Once you as a fan start thinking about this guy's push, or what are the ratings, or what's the demo, like, you're already not a wrestling fan anymore. At this point, you are now like part of the, you know, the subclass of the subclass of the subclass. That's like, you know, you are now in the bubble. You are now part of the IWC. You are now not a normal wrestling fan. Like, you're weird, basically. If that's what you are, because the wrestling fans that I talk to, and it's okay if you and I, Jimmy, because we're supposed to talk about it to the people. But
I've
like,
been weird for a long time though, Van.
Right, and that's the thing. But you have to remember, it's hard to forget when you're in, or it's easy to forget when you're in the bubble that you are in the minority in that bubble, and that there's a whole world outside that does not care about the things that you care about. There's people that only watch Monday Night Raw out of habit. They don't know that Rhea Ripley is married to Buddy Murphy or anything. They have no idea. They just go along with the Dominic thing. They might even think, well, they're on TV together so much they must be dating. Like, even if they know wrestling's a work, they're still probably buying into it because they just don't care to look into it. They're not going to follow the social medias. They're not going to do all that stuff. That's the majority of the people, right? And those kind of people are the kind of people that ain't going to watch AEW if they're not watching wrestling already. Right? They're just not going to do it. And that's why AEW struggles to get traction, because the only thing people are measuring it with are the American cable ratings. And cable ratings are declining across the board. And you're only going to have like old people watching cable live to get these ratings or whatever. And even if you DVR it and watch it later, and supposedly they have metrics for that, but still, like, none of this really, it's not going to, just like the WWE's been like slipping down in their ratings too, you know. Nobody cares that they're slipping when Raw's celebrating getting a 1.8 after SummerSlam.
And think about it, and think about this. Go back to the Monday Night Wars. The second WCW got bought out by WWE, it was a slow decline, and I mean slow. Like, every year from that point onwards, from 2001 onwards, right? The ratings was going down every year. Every year. It was a slow, gradual. It took 20 years pretty much to get to this point, a bit longer, to get to where we are right now.
Right.
And
go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. I was just saying, here we are. That's all I was going to say.
Yeah. Well, you know, and there's two other things. I said the number one reason that AEW is at the spot it's in is because they're not WWE, but there's two other things that people have to remember. I would say number 3 reason is that they switch networks. And that may sound like a silly thing. TBS. Yeah, it may sound like a silly thing, but there could have been people that just left the TV on or whatever and watched Dynamite. And as soon as they left the TV on one night and Dynamite didn't come on, they probably were like, oh, I guess that wrestling show's done. And they never bothered to look into it after that. Obviously, if you're the type of person that's watching cable, that's probably a likelihood. And that does happen. We've seen it happen when shows get preempted and moved to other channels. The ratings take a hit, some worse than others. So I would say that even in itself, that was a big thing that, you know, and it's funny because they put a show back on TNT, but that's Collision that we're going to talk about very soon. But still, like, even Collision's like the secondary, not even to Dynamite, and it's on a weekend, and it runs against other WWE shows, and nobody cares. So, you know, that doesn't help. I would say the number 2 reason that everybody forgets, which is one of the things that the WWE has been able to bounce back from, but they are the WWE, and they've been doing this for 60 years. But for a company that's only been around for like 1 year, it's a little bit hard, and that was the pandemic lockdown situation. Like, right when AEW was getting going, we got hit with that, and nobody was gonna want to watch like the Dark Order at Daly's place have matches. Right? That was not gonna bode well for the new wrestling company trying to make a splash, right? So those are the big 3 things. It's not the booking, because I mean, it is. These are reasons. I'm just saying they're not the big reasons. Like, yeah, the booking is bad, but the wrestling booking is bad in general. Tony Khan's booking is not the reason people ain't watching it. Nobody knows what good booking is anyway. They don't know what good booking is. They don't even know what good TV shows are anymore, judging by the shows that are popular nowadays. So that's not it. It's not about, you know, them not, you know, them signing stars that quote unquote nobody cares about or anything like that. It's not any of that. It's really just those 3 things. You know, it was the network switch, the pandemic, and they're not WWE. Those are the top 3 reasons why AEW is in the boat that they're in right now. No, the other little things are minor, and they would, but if you had great booking, that's not going to automatically bring like double your audience in right away. It's just not going to happen. It doesn't work like that. You know,
No,
if that was the case, then you know, the WWE, when The Rock came back, would have been doing astronomical ratings, but instead they just did a little bit better ratings for a period. And then there were times when The Rock was on and they didn't do a good rating. So, you know, and if you can't make significant ratings changes with The Rock, then I don't know who else you're going to bring in, you know?
No, spot on. And don't mind me, Vet, for a moment, because I'm having power issues, man. My monitor's turned off again. I don't know what's been going on. I'm trying to figure this out. So just for the time being, I can't even see you right now, put it that way. So for now, while I try to figure this out, you're just going to have to not mind me. But you're spot on, dude. I mean, look, the numbers, look, to be fair, also, not that it matters, but has AEW even reached 1 million under TBS since they made that switch?
No, I think they've done some 900s, but they've gotten decent. But right, well, I don't think they cracked 1 million. I think they've only even cracked 1 million like maybe 3 times ever.
Only?
Yeah.
I thought it was
for
more
sure.
than that, but...
For sure, the debut episode of Dynamite. For sure, the CM Punk Rampage, and maybe one other time. And that's across their entire history of shows. Not even just Dynamite. I think maybe crazy. One other time they got around 1 million or over 1 million. They've also had times where they opened over 1 million. And the average went down over the course of the show to drag it under. But like, you know, they had 1 million to lead in, and then by the end of the show they were down to like 700,000, so it averaged out to like an 850 or some shit like that. Things like that happen.
Oh, that's interesting, man.
And the reason that happens, let me just tell you, is because, you know, old people fall asleep with their TV on. And then when they wake up, you know, like at 9 o'clock, 9:30, they turn it off, and that's when they lose the numbers.
That's funny.
Like it's right. Like people who left the Big Bang Theory on after dinner, and then they went in their recliner and they just dozed off, and then they got up and turned off the TV when they finally woke back up so they could, you know, brush their teeth and go to bed. That's where AEW loses most of their viewers. I don't think most of the people even plan to watch AEW on purpose. I think that 600,000-700,000 people is just, you know, people in their 50s, 60s, whatever, falling asleep after dinner.
Well, that's interesting. One other thing, AEW did manage, with Dynamite this past Wednesday, they did manage to get back up to 700 and something thousand in the ratings. Right. I think they were up by like 100,000, so I guess that's positive for them. But this is why I don't bring up the ratings really anymore, because you've made me realize. Yeah. I mean, is there really any point talking ratings when
they're not?
Cable, you know, has gone. You know, the numbers have gone way down, and that's across the board. Even here, like in Australia, a lot of people are disconnecting their cable providers, man, because, you know, it's. Yep. Someone said in the chat, I think it was Cold Blooded, possibly. I can't even see right now, but. Whoever it was, someone said it goes up every year, and it does. It goes up every fucking year, you know, to have cable, while everyone's disconnecting. You'd think they'd be, you know, offering, you know, for you to get it back for less money, but instead they're overcharging everybody. But it is what it is.
Well, if you bundle your cable with your internet and your phone and your home security and all this other stuff, we could save you $5.
Yeah,
like that kind of shit.
But if you do threaten to disconnect, they generally do give you a much better deal. If you're like dead set about it, like, no, I don't want it unless, you know, I get it for this price. Generally, they bow down. And I mean, I've done it before. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's 2024. People all like to buy these apps and stream everything. But the problem with that is, even just having all these apps, you're paying practically just as much as you would having a cable box. You know what I mean?
Yep. Well, I mean, That's the thing. Once, like I keep saying these same things, but we might have new listeners every day, so I'll say it again. If once a certain demographic ages out, then all you're going to be left with is a generation of kids that only know stealing online for free, and they never paid for anything in their life.
Absolutely.
And then your streaming, that's what streaming services are. The bubbles collapsed. It's already kind of collapsed on that.
Oh yeah.
You got people like Disney saying we didn't make enough money. How does Disney not make enough money? Fuck you.
Yeah, bad.
You mean you didn't make enough money? What am I making then? Don't tell me you didn't make enough money because you want to. And now it's like, so what do they do when they don't make enough money? Raise the price. Hey, all you guys that were loyal to us, pay up. That's basically the model right now. And everybody's like, I shouldn't pay you anything because I can go to such and such website and just watch it and stream it right now. That's the harsh reality that once you get rid of all the people that feel like the obligation to pay for things, because they have morals or whatever, once that demographic ages out, all you're going to be left with is the pirates, and it's going to be a dangerous sea, mateys. Arr. Arr.
Arr, arr. Funny enough, we were the first generation to really start doing that when you think about it, Vet. I'm talking about us.
Pretty much.
And now it's like you said, it's going to get to a point where that's all they know, and it's going to burst, which it already has, like you said. But that's, I guess, all the news. We've hit the hour mark, roughly, I'll say, maybe over.
That's rough.
I think it's time to sift through the wreckage, Vet. And but while you do that, I need to figure out this quickly. So don't mind me for a minute while I just see what's going on with my plugs. I'll be back in a second.
Totally professional, guys. All the new listeners and viewers. We are a professional show. This is the exception and not the rule. Everything we do is perfect and good.
It's life, goddammit. Shit happens sometimes.
That's right. So, plus Australia doesn't exist, so it's a miracle that Jimmy's even here at all with us. So that's basically it. So here we are starting off our episode of Collision with Dr. Britt Baker, Mike Martin's favorite wrestler, versus Harley Cameron, my favorite wrestler. And let me tell you, boy, oh man, they sure did have a match. So listen. I don't know at what point we decided that we're just going to take Harley Cameron seriously as a wrestler in the ring. Like, I thought she was like a mascot that was just there to act weird in the background. And now Britt has a big match with Mercedes coming up at the biggest show of the year for them. And she has to sell for this clown. Nothing personal against Harley Cameron. I'm just talking about the character. So I think it's a little much that she had to sell in this match. Like they're like trading kicks and stuff towards the finish. It's just like, this should have been, in sports terms, a rout. Just so we can get to the business afterwards. And this person is just a warm body for Britt to get a win over on television, right? But anyway, so she hits the curb stomp, which of course we've always known as her finisher. And then Camille and Mercedes come down and beat her up. So that's even more reason not to be selling for Harley Cameron in this match, because if you know that you're going to take a beating at the end, a 2-on-1, beating from these guys or whatever it is, or even if it's just Camille by herself. Camille's like 2 already. So it'd really be a 3-on-1 if Mercedes jumped in. But if you're going to get your ass kicked and that's the angle afterwards for the post-match, why do we have to do like a little like 60-40 match with Harley Cameron first? Why do we need to be giving Harley Cameron 40%? Jimmy, pointless. I turn it over to you.
Absolutely pointless. You're right. I will say Harley Cameron's hot as though, man. She looks great. I will say that. But yeah, you're right. I mean, why give her 40% of the match? What for? It doesn't, and even with Britt Baker winning, I mean, like, what does that make her look like? Would she beat someone like a top talent in AEW?
Apparently, because Harley Cameron just be running people over in Ring of Honor and Rampage sometimes.
I didn't even know she was part of the Social Outcast, dude. I just saw that for the first time now. So that's how in tune I am with what's going on the other shows, for example. But
she mostly orbits around Saraya and tries to say funny things like to punctuate her promos or whatever.
Look,
she literally did that on Rampage where Saraya was doing a promo and she's like yelling stuff in her ear like a hype man, and Saraya actually said like, "You're yelling in my ear." Like it was I guess it was kind of funny.
I saw that.
Yeah, but we're also now like taking her seriously as a wrestler to the point that Britt has to sell for it, which is weird. And I've already commented on people having to sell for Harley Cameron. I don't really think that's the role for her.
No, it's not.
She
does have a role.
That'd be like Danhausen starting to just come in and go 50-50 with the roster. It just doesn't.
Have you seen the way Danhausen looks without the makeup, by the way?
It's like a white guy. I don't know.
Yeah, but it doesn't give me Danhausen vibes, which is kind of funny. But anyway, we're not talking about that. Harley Cameron is, when they were doing, what was the group called when they were doing that TMZ skit? It was the QT Marshall group. What was it called again?
Yeah, QTV maybe, and then
QTV. Right.
That's John Morrison, and
that's when she was good, man. Like in that role, she was funny as hell to me. Even her rapping made me laugh. Like, come on, it was just it was ridiculous, but still, like, I think her and just her looks, she looks great. She can't wrestle for shit, right? But, she's not really even a wrestler. I mean, you could use her as a valet, say, for somebody. You can make use of her some way. But her wrestling, just please.
We got enough wrestlers. Okay.
We've got enough wrestlers, exactly right.
And yes, so, Todd, I do think Harley pulled out a knife at some point.
She did?
Yeah, good for her,
Really? God.
Yeah, okay. Why stop at a knife? Why not a gun?
Why not?
Why are you bringing a knife to a gunfight?
Oh, man. She's a laugh. Look, I'll give her that. She's funny. She can sing, like Cold Blooded said. She actually can. I actually think she's a decent singer. I'll say she could probably rap better than fucking Mercedes Moné. Her rapping her song, dude, just gives me cringe vibes hard. I don't know why. Just her talking the way she does, bro. Like, oh, God, please.
It's heat. It's heat, baby.
It's heat. What about Camille, though, dude? I just want to say, and I want to ask, like, I hate her in this spot, dude. I know eventually she'll turn on Monet. It's typical AEW booking. And then she'll probably beat her for the TBS belt because Monet, after that, will go for the AEW World Women's Championship, I assume. And, we move on to bigger and better things. Even though, to me right now, the TBS Women's Championship, if you want to call it that, Women's Championship, is a lot more over right now than the AEW Women's Championship, I feel like, anyway.
I mean, kind of. I mean, you're doing a goofy gimmick with the Women's Champion, so,
We'll
I don't know. Some people like it, I guess, still. I don't know.
Well, you called it, Vet. You called it because we got Blaze Nick smoking a fat one, enjoying this for the first time. Good. Keep tuning in, actually, Nick, because you'll always enjoy our shows here at Hamin Media Group and also at channelattitude.com. So thank you for joining us, man.
Sober or otherwise, you'll love it. So as you mentioned, Jimmy, Globe Life Field is going to get All In next year.
We're all in, damn it.
And we even had the mayor of Arlington, Jim Ross, in the crowd.
Ross.
No, not that Jim Ross. Before anybody says anything, nope. It's another Jim Ross is the mayor. He got a front row seat to the Collision.
He didn't look that impressed either, to be fair.
Well, they didn't show him that much during the matches, right? So,
I mean, come on.
And then
you would have thought. Oh, sorry. Before we continue, You would have thought they would have sort of said, not our very own JR, but, Texas's own JR, but they didn't. They just said Jim Ross, and that was that. But anyway, sorry, Vic, continue on, man.
Oh, I was going to say he was going to be right there and get a ringside seat to this mega event, which is Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara versus the Undisputed Kingdom for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships.
I'm sick of this. I'm sick of Ring of Honor being paraded all over AEW. Can we just separate this shit for now, like for once?
No, you can't.
But
because they're all in this building together for the tapings.
Whatever, man. Look, but in saying that though, Vet, I'm not the biggest fan of most of these guys, right, in the ring. But the match was pretty decent. It went for way too long, though.
It's a championship match. These are champion contenders and champions themselves, Jimmy.
Ring of Honor. I know, Aaron, that it's a whole second brand.
It's this whole ring just full of honor. Like, there's honor everywhere. They're tripping over it. They're tripping over all the honor in the ring and slipping and sliding.
It's full of honor, yeah. The Win and
except when Roderick Strong and the Beast Mortos come down to interfere, then there's no honor in that really. But they did try to interfere, and then the Von Erichs came out, and then the conglomeration came out, and then a big schmoz happened, and somewhere in all this, Dustin Rhodes and Sammy hit a finish on one of these fuckers, and 1, 2, 3 new champs.
Woo! I mean, cool, I guess, but
yeah,
we got a double.
These are guys are the new belt collectors. Like Kenny Omega's been on the shelf too long. Now it's time for Sammy and Dustin to clean up.
Yeah, who cares? Like seriously, who gives a damn? Like why even have these two together? Where's this?
Wait. I have one question for you, Jimmy.
Go hit me.
And everyone, you guys can play along at home too with this question. Who cares, right? But who do you care about more? The brother of Cody Rhodes and the guy that promised to sexually assault Mercedes Moné, or Tall Ace Austin with Mickey Mouse gloves and the guy with the backwards hat and the wife? That's
a hard one. Nah.
Is it?
Obviously, I think I'm gonna lean towards the rapist. Jeez. At this point, I'm just saying. I mean, that's a hard one, Vet. I mean, you either go for number one, which is pretty bad, or you go for
it's
two.
real easy to me. No one has ever cared about the Kingdom. Ever in the history of time.
But what about Morto?
Oh, yeah. Well, he wasn't in this match. He just showed up at the end. That doesn't count. Why did they just slap him onto this collection of generic vanilla?
I have no idea. This is what I'm confused. How does it make sense when you got the Beast Mortos, part of the Kingdom?
Yeah.
Unless they swerve us and they actually imagine Mortos becomes your leader for the Kingdom. That would be funny as hell.
That would be good.
It's Mortos Kingdom.
And his promo is just like, yeah. Now
that's ratings. I would love that. I'd pop for that shit. Straight up. If they do that, I'm all in. Pun intended. Literally.
All in. Let's go.
All in for.
Well, we're gonna need to start building the card for next year if we want to sell out that stadium. If we're gonna want to sell out Globe Life Field, man.
Mortos main event him for next year in Texas right now.
That's right. He can be that random Mexican or Japanese guy that MJF has to wrestle, right? Like that could be him. Could be.
Hey, man, I bet you they'll have a great match together. Mortos and MJF.
Right. We're making fun of everybody else except Mortos. Mortos is cool.
No,
it's just
this is not
everybody else
fun.
we're ironically, praising or whatever, but we like him. Speaking of All In, we get various predictions for the main event between Swerve and Danielson. We get a bunch of people saying who they think might win and why. I like this kind of stuff. I mean, again, like obviously you and I don't care about this, but just, looking at it objectively, I like when you hear from other people that work at the company, rather than everybody acting like the only thing that's ever going on in the company is the stuff they're involved with. I prefer that other people act like there's, like hundreds of other people on the roster besides them sometimes. Jimmy is frozen.
I'm all right. I'm back.
He's back.
You were saying what? What was the last bit you were saying?
I was just saying I like it when I like these kind of things where you see wrestlers talk about other wrestlers that don't have to do with them, because it just seems like everybody on the show is like in an isolated bubble and they never, unless they're doing a promo and somebody walks into it, but like other than that, nobody else exists except for that wrestler at that period of time, and then we can never interact with anybody else or do anything. So
well, I mean, I'm laughing at the chat because Australia's phasing in and out of existence. I told you it's the AI Sonic, man. It is what it is. No, because I just changed over my internet because I noticed I was looking a bit blurry when I was looking at the live feed on YouTube, so I wanted to change that. Hence why I disappeared for that split second. I think I've cleared up a little bit better than before,
yes.
Right? I mean,
yeah, you're
that's
trying to do too much. Yeah, you can't be.
It's annoying me
watching YouTube and doing a show at the same time.
No, because that's the only way I can tell. Because to me, over here on the live feed, both of us are clean, like really clean, right? But then I was looking at the chat saying like I seem a bit blurry, basically. And then when I looked at the live feed on the YouTube part, I noticed I was pretty blurry. So I wanted to try to fix that up, obviously. So that's why. Plus, everything's going wrong, man. I need to change. Something's up with my power over here, dude. I don't know what's going on, but I've been having troubles lately. But I think I want to get to the bottom of it.
Clear up these issues. Warner Brothers not going to give you a new deal, Jimmy.
I know. God damn.
All right.
It just happens on the Sunday mornings, dude.
Only on Sunday mornings. Or what is it, like Monday night over there now?
No, it's Monday morning. It is 2:15 a.m. Monday morning.
Hey. All right. So, we are with Renee Paquette and Chris Jericho are backstage, and basically he's saying that he's going to use the Dynamite Kid, Tommy Billington, as a warm up for Hook, and some other stuff.
Hi guys.
Yeah. Hi guys. Any comments on this?
Yeah.
It's okay if you don't.
No, well, look, all right. To be fair, I didn't mind the promo.
Okay.
But if anything, you know what amused me the most? Not what he was saying about Hook, right? Which is a bit weird with what happened on Dynamite. I don't know what your take is on that, but he looked like a rabid Wolverine, literally, in the ring with the way Hook was kind of acting. But whatever, cool. It is what it is. But as far as this, the thing that popped to me was at the end of the promo when he was talking to Renee. When he said, "You like my jacket, Renee? It's yellow."
Yeah,
that made me laugh.
Sure is yellow.
And that was it, dude. Otherwise, it was just blah, 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 blah by Jericho for me.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever. He's going to.
And no one interrupted. How do you have a backstage interview where somebody doesn't walk in from the side and interrupt?
You tell me. It beats me.
Are we even watching wrestling if that doesn't happen? So.
Jeez. And you know what else is annoying? And it's true what Revamp said. Chris Jericho be acting like a special needs kid with autism. I mean, it does come across like that in some ways. But he's just taking a piss on everybody, taking the piss on him, pretty much. That's what this is.
Yep. All right, well, here comes the main event for a lot of people. It's Hologram versus Angelico with Serpentico.
Again, here we go.
Oh.
Serpentico and
he's just there to observe.
Angelico.
Yeah. You don't like the confetti out of the wrists or the streamers?
Yeah. So how does Angelico and Serpentico still have a job with this company?
Well, because just for reasons like this, you gotta bring them out so that Hologram has somebody to help him look good.
Did he really look good? This was almost a squash match, it felt like, dude. It seemed pretty quick.
Well, he looked better than he did in there with who were those guys he was in there with?
Wasn't it a tag team match?
Yeah, it was like it was him and Darby versus two guys that don't know anything about Lucha Libre, right?
Yeah, they were jobbers though, weren't they? Some sort of jobbers?
I don't know, but
see,
regardless,
that's how irrelevant.
They were not familiar. Let's say they weren't familiar with the stylings of south of the border combat sports, so it looked ugly. And this match looked a little better because Angelico knows what to do. So did some cool stuff, but he hit that rolling crucifix pin again, which is like, not a fan of that as a finish when you're only doing like a get over match. You shouldn't be like beating somebody with the gimmick roll up. You should beat them with a high impact something or other.
I agree. And you know what, Vet? Do you think they're being too careful with Hologram now for too long? Do you think we should start seeing him in some sort of program at this point?
No, it's only been a few weeks. It's fine.
It's been probably 6 weeks, dude, when you think about it. Honestly.
I mean, what do you suggest? He just...
Does he talk, first of all? Do we know if he talks or not?
We don't know.
See? If he can, then do something with him. If he can't, then what's his character all about? Like, really? He's fake? What is he? Like, he's a hologram? That's it?
Yes, okay. That's it. Well, look, all you need is you only need this is his spot on the show. His spot on the show is to come out, do some cool moves, and leave everybody happy. It's not for him to like. It's not for him to go out there on the mic with the main eventers MJF spot and talk people into the building. That's not his spot.
Imagine that. So basically, he's a fluffer. That's what we're going to call him, an AEW fluffer. He fluffs up for everybody to get excited for the rest of the show, basically.
No, they get excited for his spot on the show.
All right.
He's his own, he's the attraction spot. It's like, hey, holograms on Collision. If you want to see hologram, you got to go to Collision. At least that's how it is right now, and that's how it's been. And then they'll show you a little clip on Rampage or Dynamite or whatever, just to get you like, okay, there's a little bit of hologram. If you want to see his match, you got to watch Collision. He's being used as an attraction for Collision. Now, anybody can say whatever they want to about that, whether they think it's going to work or not, but these are old school principles of professional wrestling that are just gone by the wayside. So they're doing the right thing, but the problem is, like, people, like, the audiences need to be reconditioned to that kind of stuff, and it takes time. One of the other things, I think, going back to just a brief detour back to our conversation about cable ratings in 2024 is one of the reasons that you're really not going to need people to tune in on, or people really don't feel like they need to tune in live for cable, is because a lot of them will like say on Monday Night Raw, right? Let's say you want to see, like, I don't know, the Rhea Ripley Dominic Mysterio thing, right? If you go to the WWE official YouTube channel, they'll upload the whole segment on there. And then you just watch that segment on YouTube, and you're not going to watch Monday Night Raw because you just cared about that. But if they put maybe a 1-minute clip of the segment on YouTube and nothing else, then you would have to watch Raw to see the whole thing, you see? So they're taking real-time views away from themselves by giving entire segments away on the YouTube channel, right?
No, you're right. And they upload them very fast, dude. Pretty much right after the segment, bang. And then on top of that, after the show actually finishes, they package a little 15-minute sort of recap of the whole show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You just have to give people enough to direct them to your show if you want them to watch the show. And that's what that's what every network is going to want. USA Network, they're going to get SmackDown. So their relationship with the WWE continues, even though, people could say like Raw they can just float, like just tread water because they're leaving for Netflix, but SmackDown's coming. So what you're not going to do bad business on purpose. You're still trying to do what you can, right? But I just think that if USA Network is serious, they should have those conversations about, hey, can you limit your social media stuff so that it drives traffic to our channel? That's what you would want. So if AEW is showing a clip of hologram on one of their other shows, it's just like a 15-second clip of some highlights or whatever. Maybe you'd be interested to check out Collision to see one of his matches. That's it. But he's the attraction.
I think they should have him start the show every week. Literally,
that could be a thing to do. Like, you just know. Right. But then it's like, then if you somehow are only there for him, then you'll click off as soon as it's over. So that's why they do things at the top of the hours, you know, to get people to like either stick around, or if they're switching over from something else, give them something to watch. Anyway, I'll tell you what won't do it, because I did not like this. They did a vignette about the Tiger Driver 91.
I'm sick of this. I'm sick of hearing about it. I'm sick. It's all about that. That's what's getting over in this company, bro. Is that, including MJF and Will Ospreay, and that's what we're hearing now in AEW, Vet. So why are they continuously doing this?
I don't know. That's why I don't like it. Well, stupid, man. Furthermore, they're trying to put this over like this is the most dangerous move ever in wrestling. Mitsuharu Misawa only used this like at certain very, very rare occasions because it was so dangerous, you know. But it's like, well, first of all, every move that happens in AEW looks 10 times more dangerous than this, really.
It actually does.
Second of all, we've seen people get hurt off stuff that looks nothing like this, right? Like,
absolutely.
Remember it was a couple weeks ago when Dark Sky got hurt on catching a crossbody, and like her leg got hurt. So it's like that was not very spectacular of a move, was it? Is the crossbody to the outside now the most dangerous move? Like, no.
But the Tiger Driver though.
Yeah, Kenny Omega, and like did the Tiger Driver give Kenny diverticulitis? Is that what happened? Is that why he's been on the shelf so long? Because it's that dangerous?
Maybe they could. I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll say that in the future. But like Mike Martin says in the chat, I tripped on the mat and almost broke my leg. I wasn't doing shit. Well, there you go. It's
everything's dangerous in there.
Exactly.
And everybody does these moves that looks way more dangerous than the Tiger Driver. So I think it's corny, but whatever. I get what they're,
Well, like Todd
I get what they're trying to do, but yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Todd said, that's probably what's going to be the finish. It will be the finish.
Oh yeah,
at All In, 100%. Yeah, it's dumb, Vet. So I mean, what else is there to say about that?
Speaking of dumb, Jack Perry.
Jack Perry's yes. Next.
Versus some guy named Danny Orion. And so that they're working hard. They're trying to find people smaller than Jack Perry, and they're succeeding for the most part. These guys must be really small, like really small. They must look even smaller than they look on TV, which is very small. And of course, Jack Perry, he's the devastating running knee, like so many wrestlers are able to use now.
Bro.
Knees are devastating. I'll give him that. And then he brings out a can of spray paint and spray paints half this guy's face, like he's using him as an effigy of Darby Allin. And then he brings out some body bag. I guess it's a body bag. I've never seen one this color, or whatever.
Maybe it's an army body bag.
Yeah, probably. That's probably what it is. What do I know? I don't know. I never. It's not a visual business or anything.
But he's and then
he takes his belt and actually zips it up in the body bag with this guy that has Darby written on it, just in case you're not getting the symbolism. Because I know this is deep. This is deep stuff here.
Deep as
we gotta literally spell it out for you. Throws his belt in there, and he's got a new belt, which actually looks all jacked up and terrible, like it's an old belt. So he's got the new TNT Championship, and he put his shiny polished TNT Championship in the body bag, and I guess they're going to dispose of it with this corpse because he killed that guy with the running knee. The guy's dead now. Dead. He died in the ring.
I hope he comes back though from the dead as your TNT champion. That would pop me. You know what I mean? Like when Mick Foley found the Hardcore Championship in the trash, whatever it was. Same sort of deal, except he found it in the body bag. But anyway, this is giving me. I know people saying in the chat, for example, Sonic the Hedge Rat saying he's an NWO or NWO. Right, stealing their spray paint gimmick. There's a bit of that, but you know what it really reminds me of? Quote to Raven, nevermore.
Oh.
It's giving me Raven vibes, but that's why I got the quote to Perry, nevermore. It's giving me sort of Raven vibes, and I was a fan of Ravens. So, but not quite. This is like a poor man's mishmash. I don't know what the hell this is. He's got parts, he's got elements of the YF6 almost with the scapegoat gimmick, right? He's got NWO with the spray paint, and he's got Raven with his stupid, whoops, when he does that gimmick at the end. I can't stand him, dude. I can't stand the gimmick. At first, I thought, okay, with the scapegoat thing, maybe they can do something. It seemed a little bit promising. Not that I care because I'm not a Perry fan. But I'm just saying, it seemed a little bit...
by using the name Scapegoat, you're consistently referencing CM Punk.
Well, that's it, exactly. That's the bigger issue.
Which you would think you wouldn't want to do because, they treat a lot of people as he who will not be named around there, him being one of them. So to have a constant recurring reference to it, if this gimmick sticks around, then some people are not even going to remember what that is. And why is he a scapegoat? Scapegoat of what? And then you'll have to think about it or look it up, and then they'll explain it and then be like, oh, and then it makes the company look bad again.
They're idiots, dude. But whatever, they're running with it. And this TNT Championship gimmick at the end, it looks so stupid. Like, at least when WWE brought in the original Hardcore Championship, for example, it was like the old World Heavyweight Championship all busted up, basically. The winged belt. And this thing is just a bad, almost like you can go to any, like, store, for example, like your own, a figurine store, anything like that, right? And buy a TNT Championship. It almost reminds me of like a Gears of War TNT Championship version, if that makes any sense.
This belt what I mean? Has seen some shit.
It's seen some shit. It's just got a little bit of a red spray, and it looks like it's been run over on the road 1,000,000 times. I mean, and it's not even broken. That's another thing, Vet. Yeah. But the point is, it looks fake and dumb and stupid, and this doesn't make him look any tougher or a bigger deal by doing this.
I agree. And also, furthermore, to that point, that I said, I guess last week, which is that I don't think there's anything you can do to ever make Jack Perry look tough. It's just never going to happen, no matter what.
I don't think he believes it. That's another thing. You know what I mean? So it just doesn't work. Todd, you're right. It is an insult to Raven. but he's still doing it. He's doing a Raven, dude. It is what it is. But anyway, screw this kid. Go away, please. Can't stand him, dude.
We're also going to get a recap of the trios situation that we have right now.
Oh God.
And we get a couple of, like, they take these promos from the Bang Bang Gang and the House of Black, and they sort of like, they do it like dueling banjos. Like, one team's promo, the other team's promo. One team's pre-tape, the other team's pre-tape. So they go back and forth. And then I guess Christopher Daniels was watching this on the monitor, and then the camera's filming him watching it, and then he turns to the camera and he's just like, all right, well, we got some issues here, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have these two teams and the champions and another team of trios to be determined later, and they're gonna be at All In a London ladders match.
Couldn't they call it like a London Bridge ladders match or something like that? You know what I mean? Got to do.
No,
all they have to do is think about it.
What the hell's a London Bridge match?
Well, they're climbing up a London Bridge. I don't fucking know. The point is, I guess he's going to be like a TLC-esque type of match, maybe. But yeah, it will be a ladder match. And who's his third team, do you think, Vet?
Who knows?
Could it be the Pilots?
Oh,
What's the bet? What's the bet? It's got
the
to
pilots.
be
We haven't even got to
the
them
pilots.
yet.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, I'm not even going to call them by what they're really called. Because anyway, we'll get to that when we do. But the point is, why did they have to add a third team that has nothing to do with this shit? Or fourth team, whatever it is. That has nothing to do with this shit, dude.
Because how are you supposed to have a ladder match with only 9 people? Come on, Jimmy. Act like you've ever watched wrestling before.
Oh, fuck.
I don't know, bro.
You got me.
What do you want from me? Like I wonder. I seriously wonder something. If you are any of these people,
right?
So it's Juice Robinson, right? Like he missed a significant portion of time due to injury. How does that feel to come into work one day, just roll in with your suitcase, and just be like, "Hey, Juice, did you hear the news? Yeah, we're gonna be in a ladder match clusterfuck it all in." Like that's exactly what I feel like doing. What does talent really feel like when they're told they're going to be in some gimmick match with a huge potential for injury? Is anyone happy about that? Like even the people that specialize in doing like moves that are considered to be somewhat risky, like would you still want to are you still happy to be in a ladder match, or are you like I don't know, I'm kind of tired of this. I like to just do my flips from the top rope. I don't necessarily want to go through furniture from 20 feet up.
Or land on a ladder, for example. I mean, I don't know. This is just, again, I hope it's not the Kingdom, though, dude. Whatever it is, I pray, because I got a bad feeling.
Even if the third man is the Beast Mortos.
Oh, actually, no, I'll be down for that. If it's the Beast,
that one is okay.
Mortos.
Okay,
just him on his own. That'll be all right, because, you know, he's a monster or he's a beast. He can bite people, so
yeah, he doesn't need to climb.
He doesn't need to climb. What climb? Mortos don't.
He can just boost one of the other two guys, the white guys, up. Sonic says gonna be a lot of down selling while others get their crap in.
Oh shit! But I'm intrigued. Is it someone that's just part of the roster, or a team that's part of the roster, or could it be a group that's going to debut at AEW? I know it's not going to be the latter. Put it that way. See what I did there? But it's definitely not going to be the latter. It will be someone in the, because the thing is, who can it possibly be? Unless they bring the Hardy Boys back and, you know, add someone else with them. Who the fuck knows? Who knows, man? I mean, I don't know and I don't care, but this is a stupid move. They should have never done that. But most importantly, I feel bad for more. You brought up Juice Robinson. I tell you now, House of Black would not be happy about this match. Guarantee it.
Right.
I personally,
and all they ever have, it seems like, gimmick matches or garbage matches or whatever.
And you've got these three guys, right, that are this collective of dark forces, whatever the hell they are, right? You telling me you can't come up with a simple storyline for these guys? Like, I mean, that actually matters. Well, what am I saying there?
For audio only, I'm shaking my head no. Just in case anybody couldn't see that. Well, all right. Now we have Claudio Castagnoli versus Lio Rush for no reason whatsoever. This is and Lio Rush was accompanied. They walked him to the top of the ramp, and that is Top Flight, which includes the Martin brothers and Layla Gray, and I don't know if Action was there, but he should have been there.
Yeah, he was there. Action Pilot was definitely there.
All right.
So now these three guys, by the way, before we get into the match, they're literally dressed as pilots.
Yes. Or perhaps flight attendants.
I hope it's that. It better be that, not freaking pilot. Seriously, this is getting overboard. This is just, whoever came up with that idea, I hope it wasn't one of them. No shit.
Yeah, but I could see, for some reason, when I first saw them, I thought I could see like Tony saying to him, like, "Hey guys, I was just thinking maybe, you know, you guys are called Top Flight and maybe we should lean more into that. So what do you think about dressing up like pilots, like with the pants and the cap and everything.
Oh no, man! I hope they're ribbing chubby Top Flight member, as in what's his name again? There's Darius, right?
Dad bod Darius.
Dad bod Darius, right? I hope it's a rib on him because he just got his pilot license, right? So it could be something like that, but I doubt it. But this is just ridiculous. And yeah, Layla Gray seems to be back, peeps. For anyone that's wondering in the chat, there's a few people that are asking. I thought she'll sign with AEW because she left AEW at one stage, signed with AEW. We saw her in the documentary, and now she's back in AEW and looking great, I guess. She always looked good. But
Layla Gray?
I could have sworn Layla Gray was in AEW for a bit, dude.
Maybe, but I mean...
who was the chick? Do you remember on the documentary on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
The Wrestlers, whatever it was called.
I didn't watch it, but
I could have sworn she was there, dude. I could be getting confused, so I'll just...
Well, I mean, even if she was, they filmed that a long time ago. So I remember her being in AEW for a long time. So I don't know. But while we wait for Jimmy to come back, the match was Claudio versus Leo. And I don't know what this match would have to do with his upcoming match with Okada. I don't know if this is sort of like a Rocky montage, like catch the chicken. Like I need greasy fast speed to beat Okada or something, perhaps. I really don't. I'm not really sure what the what sense it makes, or if there was a reason. There doesn't have to be a reason, but I was still wondering. And wouldn't you know, the gigantic guy beat the smaller guy, and there it was. Beat him with an uppercut. So,
and I felt bad for Leo Rush. He ran him over, dude. Made him look like an idiot, if anything.
Still went through a break though.
Yeah.
So
true.
So yeah, does this get him ready for the Rainmaker? He said he wanted the
he better be
G1 winner Rainmaker. He doesn't want this guy that goes around calling people bitches. I actually liked his promo from whatever show that was. It was either Dynamite or
Dynamite. It was Dynamite.
Was it Dynamite?
It was Dynamite.
Okay. Yeah, and I like Claudio's promo there. And you guys know I'm not a huge fan of Claudio. I can't take him seriously, but I'm gonna give it up if I thought he nailed it. And
Okada better win. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, of course he's gonna win.
Which he will, right? He will.
Yeah, you're not gonna beat Okada, but it's somebody that they figure, it'll be a good match. So there you go.
Let's hope so.
Yeah. Todd Brantley says no knock against her, but what is her role there? I assume he means Layla Gray, but yeah, well, her role there is to serve peanuts, I guess, and and drinks to the passengers. What else would it be? Yeah. These nuts.
And she was, by the way, a 3-time OVW Women's Champion.
Layla Gray was?
Layla Gray, yes. I wasn't tripping.
Oh, good. She graduated to flight attendant. So Layla Gray, former 3-time OVW Women's Champion, is now part of Top Flight as the gimmick. And I saw something where she posted on social media recently because she was in Kentucky and did like a bodybuilding competition and she won. So congratulations to her for that.
Really? Good stuff.
Yeah, when you scroll Instagram and it shows you stuff that it thinks you'll like, I guess they think that because she's a wrestler, I would like her page or whatever. So I saw that she won a bodybuilding competition. Good job, Layla Gray. And what was I going to say? Something else about... Oh, yeah, they did a spot which kind of was going... I saw it on my Twitter feed going around. They had a match between Top Flight and the MXM collection where like...
Oh.
Yeah, you
on
already know
Rampage you're talking about, right?
I think it was it Rampage? Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
I think
it was
it was on
Rampage.
Rampage.
I can't tell because it's all the same. They tape all these things in the same place. So
right.
yeah, but so Rampage then. So yeah, basically Mansoor was in the middle of the ring and he couldn't decide between Layla Gray's ass or Mason Madden's ass. Like he was torn. He was torn. Both of them were shaking their money makers at him and on the outside of the ring, and he couldn't decide. So,
Jesus Christ, man! Ah, man, all this is just ridiculous, Vet. This is getting ridiculous. My camera is getting ridiculous too, by the way. Why am I blurry? Damn it! What's going on, man?
All right, well let's speed run the rest of this then, since things just aren't cooperating, and we've already been giving these people enough wonderful content. I'm sure they won't be starving for more. They've already got enough. Let's give them a little bit more and send them home happy. Stokely and Statlander promo. Any comment on that? I liked it.
I like Stokely.
Yeah.
Statlander though.
Yeah, no, she's
pretty bad, to be honest.
She's all right. She's fine. If she's not from the Andromeda Galaxy, I don't care.
Right. I mean, that's another thing. They still haven't explained how she's become human and she's from New York now.
Yeah, that's it. Boring. Speaking of from New York, Eddie Kingston is on the couch, and he's not coming back anytime soon, so don't get your hopes up, he says. But
Hallelujah.
He's there to tell Danielson, like, hey, if this Danielson gets in the ring, you're going to lose. You know, basically he says that. So he's trying to motivate him from the couch. And then we get the solo time. Here's my speaking of solo time and this lovely mug, the Glamour is up next. The Glamour, Mariah May. Yes, versus the I didn't catch it. Did not catch her name. She was already defeated by the time I could even think to rewind to try to see if the announcers had said her name. And then afterwards, they play a short film by Tony Storm on the screen, and that causes Mariah May to punch this young lady like a few more times out of frustration. So, there it was. There was that. And I assume that Jimmy would just say, all right. And then we go backstage with the Acclaimed, and then Max wraps his promo here. He's rapping here. Bars go here. And then Anthony and Billy both, say the equivalent of, yeah, boy. And then it's FTR versus the Acclaimed. And I am looking at the time when these guys ring the bell, and it's like 30 minutes left in the show, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. And then I didn't even think about the fact that they were going to probably do a draw, even though I didn't think they would have a decision, but I didn't think about a time limit. I just thought there was going to be like a double DQ or a double pin or, like a dusty finish type thing or something like that. But it goes the full time limit of these guys just doing a bunch of stuff and calling it great tag team wrestling. And I guess it's fine for today, but really, who are you comparing it to? Tag team wrestling's been dead for many years now. And these guys really ain't doing nothing to revive it, so to speak. And then afterwards, while they're arguing about like, well, what does this mean? Who's going to go to Wembley? Who's going to Wembley? Then they sucker punch Billy Gunn for whatever reason. And then that turns into a schmoz. And then Tony Schiavone says that Tony Khan just told him it's going to be a three-way, which we already knew was going to happen. So we got to get as many multiple tag team matches as possible at All In, because I'm sure that show's not going to be long enough. So we're going to have to make sure that everybody gets on it in the fewest amount of matches possible. So we're going to have a 12-man ladder match, a 6-man tag team championship match, and so on and so forth, yada, yada, yada. Jimmy, are you there?
I am here, fortunately or unfortunately. But why is this a blood feud suddenly?
Because they're the only two that are taking tag team wrestling seriously. I guess.
Max Caster now is a serious wrestler now, right? Like no more fucking around. He's just Does he even rap anymore? Is he even rapping?
Yes.
I didn't even see the entrance. So
no, because
he should stop.
No, he did the rap in the backstage thing before he came out, so that when he came out to their music, it would be all business, just going straight to the ring for the match. But right beforehand, he dropped all these lines where he intimated that he's not. He says that they're on their period and he's not into hairy chicks and other stuff like that.
Oh, I see. So he's not into hairy cheeks now.
And it's too bad we don't have JR like on the commentary, not the mayor of Arlington, but like if we had Jim Ross on commentary so that he could say, you know, Max and Dax, Max and Dax, Max and Dax.
Max and Dax, Max and Dax. That would have been funny. Well, again, I have no idea why this is a thing, but does this mean we're going to get these 4 at in Cardiff next week for either Dynamite or Collision?
No, it's probably just going to be like, rather than have a rematch in Cardiff, they're probably just going to I think they said it's going to be a triple threat match at All In, I think.
Oh man, you know what?
Who are the champions again? I don't even remember sometimes. Who is
the tag team champions?
Yeah.
It's the Bucks.
It is the Bucks, right? Okay.
Right, yep.
Because they're just not on TV anymore, so I forget. See how that works, guys? Like when you take people off TV, even people that watch this every single week, every single show, like me, don't even still remember who's the champion. You know, when they're, you know, they have a brain shortage or whatever. I can't.
But see, that's what's sad, Vet. The fact that we watch this shit week in, week out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's that easy to just not realize what's going on. It's all over the place. The booking's all over the place. I don't know, I don't know what's going on anymore. Like, it's just like things change out of nowhere. Like, for real. Like, suddenly you got Dax Max Maxon, Dax Daxon,
Bowen Bowenson.
Bo Bowenson and Cash Cashton, right? You know, suddenly all hate each other's guts. Oh, I'm Billy Bilson or some shit. Whatever.
Ass Aston.
Ass Aston, that's the one. Ass Aston. You might as well add all these guys into the ladder match. Why not? Don't worry about having another team like four-way. Let's go 6 ways. I mean, that would work.
Dude, they could have an ultimate tag unification match where they unify trios and tag belts and make it like
quadruple.
Yeah, well, no, quintuple, because you add the 3 belts to the 2 belts, and then you have to have the only tag team matches from now are 10-man tags. So that way, awesome. Every time we have a Collision episode, we know what our main event is. We know it's going to be a 10-man tag for the titles.
Well, what other thing screams Collision other than 10-man title?
Yeah, then a 10-man car wreck every time. It'll start looking like and then we could have two like 2 5-man teams or whatever, and do like a 20-man. It could start looking like the Survivor Series, like 87 or whatever, like where
yuck. No.
There's no room to run the ropes because there's too many guys in the apron. Like, let's just do that. And then have a belt for that.
Even back then when I was a little kid, man, watching those Survivor Series was a slog, bro. Like, I mean, a slog.
Oh, man, I loved it.
I couldn't stand.
Because it was, well, you love it because it's different. When you're a kid, you don't even care. Like, that doesn't make sense. That's only in hindsight.
But believe it or not, the matches were kind of boring compared to the usual things. Even as a kid, I felt that. Even I still loved it. But really, compared to all the other pay-per-views, you know, during the time, it just didn't, I don't know. But in this case, it's AEW, though. So I know I'll love it this time, though. So
yeah, this time it's going to be totally different. So if we have, ultimate tag team champions, then it's 5, it's teams of 5 strive to survive for the champions.
Oh, there's your slogan right there, man.
Yeah, I think the WWE still has that somewhere, but
do they? Oh, damn.
Yeah, probably. Unless they let it expire, and then
I'm sure they have.
Tony should look into that. You should look into that.
He should. So, by all means, let's have the new 5-man tags. I don't know. Fuck it. Even call it a what do you call it? Like gang wars or something. I have no idea. Do something, but I want to say it's gang. AEW presents Gang Wars featuring Mortals.
Yeah. Mortals Wars.
That's even better. Mortals Wars.
Aaron Ben Shlomo has fallen asleep, so I think that's probably our cue to wrap things up.
Wake up.
Yeah. So, grading this, I don't know, Jimmy, what would you say? I'm just going to go ahead and give it like a D+, man.
Yeah.
I wasn't eating good on this one.
What eating, bro?
Even though we had a title change, which is kind of crazy.
It was Ring of Honor, dude. It was
Ring of Honor. But still, a title's a title. We got an Eddie Kingston appearance. We got a Max Caster extended rap. We got what else?
We got Mortal.
Well, you didn't get it. You didn't get it because you missed it. But we got Mortos. But that was only on a run-in, so that's why the grade's not going up, because it was just like interference at the end. We had to watch Dr. Baker sell for Harley. It really wasn't. We did get Mercedes briefly, but I don't know. Ultimately, I'd still be hungry after the show.
I'll starve you, dude. Yeah, but it was like a side.
So I'm gonna give him a D+. I'm gonna give him a D+ for everything together.
Well, I gave out a D for SmackDown yesterday. I guess we're going double Ds because I would give it a straight D also right here. Felt like wrestling this week other than Raw. I don't know about Impact. You watched Impact. We're pretty lame.
Not yet, I didn't.
Oh, no, I meant last week, though.
Oh, yeah.
Last week's. Was that any good? Was it half decent? No, it's okay. Everything sucked in this week, except for maybe Raw, and even that wasn't that crash. So, D for D's nuts. Not my D, but, D's nuts anyway. I say it to D all the time. But, D for disappointing, as Todd Brantley would say. And cold-blooded, you're trolling now, I'm convinced. You must be giving B's all the time because of blooded. I mean, he loves his B's, bro.
That's his blood type. B positive.
That's B positive. Hey, that's a good one, though. We got to be positive. So take a chapter out of, take a leaf out of Cold-Blooded's book and be positive. You know what I mean? So, that was that, dude. And an F for my equipment, man, which is driving me nuts, man. So I just want to throw out, I'm sorry for the very unprofessional bullshit on my side. For whatever reason, sometimes this bullshit just happens. And believe me when I say it really irks me when this shit happens while we're live. But again, it is what it is. Not sure why it's happening, but it just happens. And so I apologize for that. But before we do go, I do want to shout out the whole chat because, instead of doing it at the start, I'd rather do it at the end. So in saying that, Mike,
and also
thank
no
you
one
for
was here
joining
at the
us.
start.
There was revamped, but everyone started coming in and then it was bopping. Revamped also, thank you for joining us, man. As per usual, the king of 2K24 in Aaron Ben Shlomo is in the house. Also, the Comment King, Todd Brantley, also joined us. We also had Sonic the Hedge Rat, always joining us as per usual. Thank you, my friend. And what else is there? Oh, yeah, we had a new listener, Emblazed Nick, who's just blazed every time, it seems. And, dude, believe me when I say keep joining us. We've got a whole bunch of great shows, not just, with myself and the vet, but many others that you will enjoy. I promise you that. So keep tuning in, man. You won't be disappointed. And also, Zane Vicious joined us. He called me Jimmy John Cena. Double JC. I like it. And I think that covers it, man. That covers it. For some reason, half the chat has disappeared. Don't know why. It's not showing the earlier ones for whatever reason, but whatever. But Sonic says, despite the technical difficulties, still an awesome show, fellas. Thank you, man.
Yeah, if you didn't hear your name, we meant you. So don't worry about it.
Everyone's giving us acknowledgements, though.
That's right.
Which does mean the world, man. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Give us that damn necklace if you want to acknowledge us.
God damn it. Now there's a blue one apparently coming out.
Shortly, oh, no. Come on.
Stop yes. It. I'm not kidding. Jay Uso wore it at a house show.
Stop it. Damn it.
A blue one. Blaze Nick says, I'll be around and I'll bring that smoke. Bye-bye. Thank you, bro. You better be around.
Well, and we'll tell everybody saying that, where we can find us, right?
Well, yeah, you start first, please.
All right. Add Opinion Haver on all your favorite social media platforms or platforms anywhere. If it's a platform and you could have a name on it, I'm Opinion Haver. So easy enough to find, and you don't have to memorize several different handles. And if you want to see more, then you could definitely check out the Next Level Wrestling Review with myself and Big Ray Hernandez every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern live. If you want to, we talk about NXT there. You want to see the TNA portion of that crossover, you can watch every Monday night at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern live with myself and Brandon on the Impact Attack, or we talk about TNA, obviously. So I'm kind of covering that entire, talent exchange right there. It's been a little bit interesting. Unfortunately, the quality of the shows has not gone up. So, that being said, you can, if you want to check out other people besides me, here's a few suggestions. How about some people I know, like Wrestling with Rip Rogers, every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. Concrete, baby. It's a Q&A. You can ask Rip Rogers a question, and he'll probably answer it. And he was doing the majority of the heavy lifting this past Friday, and the show came off great. So it was a very entertaining time and a fun time had by all. So if you want to hear from the man himself, the man responsible for me, then check out Wrestling with Rogers. If you want to check out another guy that I know, Stevie Richards has the Stevie Richards Show. That number of subscribers is probably outdated. He's probably closer to 100,000 by now.
He actually is.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and he's got lots of cool topics and everything. This is the Stevie Richards we always wanted, where he's in this format show. Where he gets to talk about timely subjects in addition to subjects that he wants to talk about or that James wants to ask him about. So this week it was about the star ratings, the Meltzer star ratings. So big conversation about star ratings, what he considers to be a 5-star match. It's just so much more, but they talk about all kinds of entertaining stuff every week. So please check that out if you're not already checking it out. And then, of course, JTG has his own YouTube channel. Jay the God is on YouTube, and he has just recently been monetized. So if you like to support him, you can. If you just want to watch his free videos, then do that too. So check out that channel, JTG from Crime Time. And that's just about it for me. Jimmy, what do you got?
Well, what I've got, which is starting apparently on the 27th, of this month, it is I Like It Raw with myself and Big Ray Hernandez on the 27th at 10 a.m. Eastern now. Not 11 a.m. Eastern, but 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. It's pretty early, but they'll be starting apparently on the 27th, so look out for that. Also, join us every week for the Smack Attack with myself and John Enright, who covers SmackDown week in, week out, right here on the same channel, but also, as you know, obviously the Wreckage every week, but this is the Wreckage. But if you want to follow me, you can on the X at DJ Massive X and also at the PWC Network. Most importantly, though, like and subscribe right here at channelattitude.com with $5. Not only do you get the realest, but the best talk in all of pro wrestling, and also at Hamin Media Group.podbean.com for all our affiliate shows and the PWC Network.podbean.com. Subscribe anyway. New shit will be coming out very soon. There's something in the works as we talk right now, but I just can't give you the exact date on when that's happening, but it will be something very soon. So that's about it, Vet. So in saying that, I think we got a bit of due. Bid all of you are due. So in saying that, I am Jimmy T. That is the Vet, Jamie Williams, and you've been listening and watching the Wreckage. Right here on Hamin Media Group and channel attitude.com after the fact. And we're out. A peace and a thank you.